I made a garden bed on my balcony for my balcony. Here's how. So these are the pieces of wood that I used for the most part. I included some scrap pieces of wood, and I also did not include certain pieces like these. Those were originally supposed to be legs, but I decided to go a different route. So the first thing I did was build the length of the garden bed, which is the long side. I was trying to find pieces that weren't so bowed, which I thought I did at the store, but I guess not. So once I found the pieces that like went together the best, I got this wood glue and I just glued them together. For whatever reason, I do not own any clamps, so I got these pieces of scrap wood and just nailed them to the planks. My goal was to basically keep them together. I wanted those scrap pieces to basically act like clamps. I don't know if I actually accomplished that with this, but they stuck together nicely, so I guess it worked. After that, I did the same thing for the other side. After I finished that, I repeated the same steps for the width of the bed. For this one, I couldn't find any scrap pieces that matched the length, so I just took these smaller ones and glued it to the board. After all my sides were finished, I tried to find the best way possible to actually attach these to each other with my limited tools. So what I decided to do was just turn it to the side and basically balance that small piece on the rail of my balcony, but also the side of the bed, if that makes sense. There was also a height difference, so I had to use a piece of wood to sort of balance it out, like that. Once I felt like they were leveled enough, then I nailed them together. Once I flipped it over, I repeated the same steps for the other side. So I'm gonna show y'all this part, but I ended up not keeping it this way. I knew I needed support beams, I just didn't know how many, so I ended up getting 12 of them, just in case I needed a bunch. I noticed that it was wobbly, so I originally put the support beams in the corners. You can do this if you want because it did actually help, but I did end up taking them out because I found a better way to make it less wobbly, and I'll show you that later on in the video. So originally I was gonna do some legs, but honestly, trying to figure out where to put these legs, like that'll give me the best stability, I guess, was stressful. Damn it. And then like I screwed them into like air, like this one back here was screwed into air. So yeah, that was just not gonna work out. The thing that actually made the wobbling better for me was reinforcing the sides with a few screws. I had nailed these together originally, but clearly that wasn't enough because it was still wobbly, so I just went on each side and I put a few screws. So this is originally how I was going to do the bottom, but I ended up showing a friend how it looked. He's a gardener, and he said if I keep it this way, the bottom will fall out, and he was correct. Couldn't even finish drilling and the bottom fell out. Thank God I showed him. So after I got advice from my friend and I watched a ton of videos, I decided to take the legs out and just revamp the bottom completely, which is a benefit of DIY projects. What you doing, bud? So this is me taking the support beams out, the legs out, and just the bottom of the bed all together. So I got this 2x4x4 that was originally supposed to be a leg, but I decided to use it as support for the bottom. I put one on each of the long sides. So while creating the bottom, I noticed that these scrap pieces of wood that I put on earlier were just popping off. So I just took all of them off. So these are my support beams that I took off earlier, and I decided to use them as reinforcement for the bottom. This is me trying to make sure they're evenly spaced before I screw them into that support beam. This is how it looks so far, and honestly, I'm not mad.
Hey. What's up?
Nothing.
Oh.
It isn't the awkwardness that makes the man, babes.
Is it the what?
It isn't the awkwardness that makes the man.
What is it?
It's the man that makes the awkwardness.
Oh, nice.
You didn't see that coming.
Nope.
You know why you didn't see that coming?
Why?
'Cause I said it. I'm gonna leave.
That didn't happen the whole time until you came outside.
That's why I said I'm gonna leave, bro.
These were the planks that I was using before, but I noticed that some of them couldn't fit in there, so I had to cut them down to size. I used the one that could fit as a guide, and then I just made a little line on the ones that couldn't fit and just cut along the line. For this last one, it actually ended up being too wide, so I had to cut the sides off until it fit, basically. I tried to measure it, but it just, I don't know. I just had to keep cutting it. And I eventually got there. This is me showing where I'm going to put screws in order to attach the planks to the support beams. I'm pretty sure my camera died right there, but y'all get the gist. But also look at the bottom of this. Like, that looks so official. I'm so proud. So because I wanted this to be mobile, I decided to get these moving dollies and use them as wheels. I also got them because buying wheels individually is so expensive. The wheels that I would have needed for this garden bed were like $30 each. That's crazy, and your girl was not doing that. Once I decided on the placement of the dollies, I just screwed them into the base. This is actually my favorite part of DIYs, where I see my vision like in real life. It's such an amazing feeling, and it's also a reminder as to why I do DIYs in the first place. It's to bring my visions to life, but also to show people that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Anyway, I'm using this fabric in order to keep the soil in. Honestly, I'm only doing this because I've seen literally everyone else do this. So yeah, also my camera died again, so I'm just gonna show you guys how to do this in a vertical video. Honestly, my camera may have overheated because it gets extremely hot on my balcony. There's really no method to how I was doing this. I was just making it work, honestly. When I got to the top, I did fold it over one time in order for a cleaner look. And I did the same thing for the corners. This is how it looks after installing the fabric. So I saw most people putting cardboard in their garden bed at this step, and I think it's for like oxygen, but I could be completely wrong about that. This is the soil I used, and I think I needed about 2.5 bags. I probably could have fit 3, but I just did 2.5. Once I put some of that last bag in there, I just even the soil out, and this is how it looks. Here's a close-up of the wheels. And that's it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to show me some love by liking the video or leaving a comment. Subscribe to my channel for more content from moi. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Peace.